All right, President Obama, you know what I've noticed when I do your program? I go over and the audience, they love President Obama, your audience, the guys who sit in the little bleachers.
That's right.
For them, it's like going to Lord's to go to your show because they know they're going to get...
Many have been healed.
Right.
Yes,
they know they're going to get Obama, and it's going to be... So it's perceived that you are a big fan of the president. Has that changed at all?
The perception from the people at Lord's?
No. Let me rephrase the question.
All right.
How's President Obama doing so far?
Wow, that's a very broad question. I think in some areas he seems to be doing very well, but I think it depends on how you're looking at it.
But how do you look at it? Jon Stewart.
How do I look at how he's doing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm torn. For me, I feel like I can't tell if he's a Jedi master playing chess on a 3-level board way ahead of us, or if this is kicking his ass. So
you really don't know?
Oh, I think it's very difficult to say. For one thing, those types of broad analysis, you know, how's he doing? It doesn't lend itself to a very easy answer. I think there are certain areas that he seems to have made progress or stabilized certain areas. I'm appreciative of the fact that he has tried to re-engage the regulatory mechanism of the government.
Wow, the regulatory
mechanism.
That's way over my head.
The mechanism.
What is that?
And you're 6'5".
Yeah, and I had no idea what you just
said. That's
said.
like I was throwing to Marcus Colston. I mean, that was like jumping out there.
So what is
the idea that we would have people there checking if there was lead in our toys?
Okay,
so
protecting the folks using the federal government's power. He's made strides in doing that. You know, that's a pretty smart analysis. You know, a lot of people don't think you're smart.
Thank you very much. Wow.
Did you writers come up with that, or did you?
No, they're in my pocket.
Right.
I always bring a few of them with me.
You know, some of those guys have that little thing.
Yeah, no, I got the IFP.
Regulatory.
Here's what I don't understand. You're the top-rated show
by far
on the top-rated network. And look, I like Staples as much as the next guy, but can a brother get a soft chair?
No.
Or
we want
a table that's not plexiglass?
You're lucky you're not hanging from your thumbs.
All right.
We want people uncomfortable out here. Okay.
Right. I'm very uncomfortable.
All right. So you think that he's doing okay in some areas,
certain jobs,
and not okay in others. Give me a not okay.
I think his ability to articulate. I think he has decided that Congress is an equal branch of government. Huge mistake. So his inability.
Congress, in your opinion.
Absolutely ignore Congress. You got to go. Look. Addington and the Bush administration established the unitary executive. They established the power of the executive.
Right.
You can't just walk in there as the next guy and say, let's go back to
power sharing.
3 equal branches.
No good.
No.
Right.
You got to go in there, my friends. You want to pass a law I don't like? Signing statement. Here's how we're going to do health care. Boom, boom, boom. You don't like it? You get in line.
So he's been too much of a team player. Now
he's not articulating clearly enough the direction he wants to move legislatively.
Okay.
It allows too much room for different narratives to take hold. For instance, a narrative that might emanate from, you know,
the no spin zone, from here,
from a news organization.
You know, that's actually another astute point, and you've shocked me twice now with the regulatory thing.
By the way, did you notice I used the word ilk?
I did, but I ignored it.
All right.
But anyway, so you say that President Obama, instead of driving home a few pieces of legislation so that everybody can understand what he's doing,
that's right. Using the bully pulpit
gathers too many people under the tent, and there's too much discussion, thereby leading to too much sniping, and you don't get anything done.
Not even so much sniping, as much as once you allow, in a vacuum of power, what will assume power in Washington are special interests and lobbyists. So if you allow too much nitpicking on the edges of legislation, it will be necessarily turned into a type of lobbyist gruel.
Lobbyist gruel?
Lobbyist gruel. Right. That's the porridge that the lobbyists would eat.
Excellent. Okay.
They'll come in there and they'll say, oh, yeah, you want to negotiate better prices on pharmaceuticals? Yeah, see, here's the thing. We can't have that, so you got to pull that down there. Without making a strong case to the public, you have no leverage because the real power takes place.
Let me distill
you see what I'm doing on the table
I
here?
can understand.
Can you get the table? Can we get the table, what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I see it.
That's what's going on here.
Okay. It's very impressive. Let me just distill it so even I can understand it.
Now
okay?
I'm a spider. Wait, hold on.
Okay, very good. You want some crayons? We can do that.
Okay. It's like being at the ground round.
He's got to talk to the folks and stop with the pinheads in Washington and stop. Okay, now, what about these evil Republicans blocking everything he does? They don't, you know, those Republicans, they don't want anything.
Right.
They want nothing. They stand for nothing.
Well,
how do we put up with them? Why do we put up with these people?
Well, I would think you put up with them because this allows you to consolidate your power.
My power, personally, you mean?
And the Fox organization, which is...
You think it's just Republicans?
Yeah, no, the shadow government. You know how all this works, right?
No, I really don't. But
let me get a chalkboard.
Don't get into Fox
News. Can I get a chalkboard?
Yeah, don't get into Fox News yet. We're going to have plenty on that. Okay,
we'll do that later.
But do you believe that the Republicans are blocking this just because they want to embarrass Obama and get him out of there? They block everything.
I don't know if it's purely because they would like to embarrass Obama.
Right.
I don't know what their motivation is, but it seems pretty clear that they would prefer not to do anything unless it's the thing they would like to do.
Well, that's
but now
that
they
both
have
parties, though?
Now that they have the supermajority of 41 in the Senate,
right.
I think they should be able to put through whatever they want to put
But
through.
I told President Obama gently that if he gives the Republicans something like tort reform, okay, that he says, look, we'll include in the health care bill.
I think that's absolutely. But again, that goes back to not articulating clearly enough what your tent posts are for the legislation.
But the president won't give the GOP anything. He's nothing in there.
I disagree with that.
What did they get? What did the president give them?
Well, when he had, I don't know if you saw, there was a press conference that he did with the Republicans.
Yes, I saw.
And he was talking about tax credits, which was
for small business,
right? Which was a Republican idea, and he pointed to the guy who did it, and then he was
talking
about.
But that'll get through. Tax credits for business.
Then he was talking about tort reform, and he said, "Look, I would like to put tort reform on the table, but even the CBO says that's only about $5 billion a year, maybe not 2 percentage points off of what medical costs are. But I'm happy to talk about it."
Why?
So,
just put it in. Just as you said, he's talking about it too much. Just put it in.
He hasn't put anything in.
That's
what
why
I'm
the
saying.
Republicans don't like it. They say, give us something.
That's not why the Republicans don't like it. He has given them many different angles. For instance, even in the stimulus plan, a full third of that was tax cuts, which you would think, it was like at the State of the Union when he said, and we cut taxes for 95% of middle-class Americans. And everybody clapped, and the Republicans just sat there like this. Tax cuts, that sounds vaguely familiar. Something out of, if that was Reagan who said that, I'd be up on my feet.
As well as I do, everybody's going to pay more next year with this unbelievable budget. Now, I have to quote, Howard Kurtz from the Washington Post. Am I supposed to
just let that go, or is that, all right.
Washington Post, Howard Kurtz, like that?
No, the budget thing. Everybody's
yeah, well, we're going to switch topics now because you're confusing me. Washington Post, Howard Kurtz says that you're now being too tough on Barack Obama, and the audience may turn on you, and during one of the telecasts may, as in the movie Frankenstein, get torches and pitchforks and come at you in a.
We have a tremendous security team. I actually do my show with a moat around
the
desk, so
because you are turning on the president.
I don't have any problem. Am I turning on? Well,
that's what Howard Kurtz thinks. Yeah, he thinks you're turning on.
Yeah. Well, they say.
Is that the kind of guy you are?
As Howard Kurtz goes, so goes Frumpkin.
Would you turn on your guy? Is that the kind of guy you are?
Well, there's so much to unpack in your statement there. Would I turn on my guy? Yeah. Is that the kind of guy I am?
Because your audience, as I said, that we opened up with Lords, I mean, they don't want you to mock them.
How do you know so much about my audience?
Because I've been on 4 times.
Have you been?
I've been on your show
outside?
4 times.
But you are a very, I don't know if you realize this, provocative figure, or at least you used to be. You used to be a very provocative figure.
What happened to me?
Remember 5 years ago? You stayed the same, and the rest of the organization metastasized around you. Now you're like
I'm the voice of reason. Right?
You're like the Mr. Miyagi of Fox. You're just sitting alone in your garden doing a bonsai tree while the young Jedis run and play.
Yeah, but somehow it works, Stuart. You know what I'm talking about. All right, now look, in this article by Howard Kurtz, this is the quote: "Stewart has clearly become an important cultural arbiter. All right, he's pulled off the trick of being taken seriously when he wants to be and taken frivolously when he wants to be." Now, the statement that you have become an important cultural arbiter.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in that one as well.
That is frightening, though. Do you understand the implications of you being important in any context?
Well, I think my family loves me. I mean, if that's what you're suggesting.
I'm just stunned that this has found its way into print.
Listen, Mr. Rowe, I'm just happy to be in the major leagues here. Thanks for calling me up to the show. Listen, I don't take any of that stuff seriously.
When you deliver your stuff, are you cognizant of the fact that your audience are primarily stone slackers who love Obama? And when you criticize Obama, all right, you may be turning on them. Does that enter into your mind?
Here's what I do with the show. We don't think about who is receiving it. We think about how it feels to us.
All right. So
we
if
have an
it's funny
internal
to you,
barometer.
you're going to do it.
That's right.
Okay.
Or if it feels like a valid piece of absurdity to put out there, we vet things internally. I can't. Whatever you say, someone's not going to like.
Okay, that's good.
Whether in your
that's the way I do
or not in your audience.
Yeah, I don't calculate what my audience wants to hear.
You
obviously.
can't. It's an impossibility.
All right, now
and it would make your show.
Final question about you and your show, and then we'll get on to Fox News.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
Do you feel badly when you and your pinhead writers take things out of context? Cut
First
clips
of all,
up. Do you think that?
Can I get some credit for hiring pinheads. So few companies these days will go out and hire the pinheads.
So you are helping the economy by doing that.
Not only helping the economy, helping a sector of our population that so rarely work productively in society, which are pinheads. By bringing together this enormous group of pinheads, I am, in many respects, finding an engine of the economy that has been absolutely untapped, a vein of energy. I think I deserve credit for that.
All right, we'll let the audience decide on that if they're still awake. Do you feel badly when you take a clip, cut it up to make somebody look like an idiot?
Not if we think they're an idiot.
Okay, so if you, Jon Stewart, think they're an idiot, then you'll do anything, however dishonest, to prove that point.
No, not however dishonest.
But you take a clip and you take it out of context. You did it to me.
I disagree with that.
You disagree with the context?
I disagree that we took it out of context.
Well, you cut it. You cut, the quotes were, you mocked me
we do mock you.
Yes, and I mock myself, so you're in good territory with that. You showed a clip of me criticizing anti-Bush protesters.
That's right.
But you didn't use the whole clip.
Well, your problem was, if I recall correctly, and let me see if I get this correctly. The idea was that Fox has become a liberal network, that you love protests against government. And we showed how, during the Bush administration, you said thousands of protesters have been arrested, and surveys show most protesters are loons. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Here's what I said. There are anti-Bush protesters here in New York. While most of these people have been peaceful, more than 1,000 have been arrested.
That's right.
Okay, but you cut out while most of these people are peaceful. You picked it up after. But that's okay.
But no. The point was, let me tell you what the point was, just so I can explain, because I don't want to take things out of context.
You don't.
And we work very hard not
to.
So here was the context, and I don't believe we did take it out of context. What you said about the protesters in the Tea Party movement was, it was about the mainstream media, that they were treating the Tea Party protesters unfairly.
Right.
And you said, we here at the Factor, what do you call it? We here at the you refer to it like it's the Borg,
you see,
some
it's the
sort
O'Reilly
of weird
factor. I just
third
the
person.
O'Reilly.
Right, that's right. So we here at the Factor, we treat protesters with respect, and we don't refer to them as loons
unless they're arrested and hurt people.
Well, see, that you didn't say. Now you may say that's the implication.
I did say that. I said more than 1,000 have been arrested. More than 1,000 have been arrested.
But you didn't say most surveys say
I'm not
that.
giving you the paper.
You didn't say most surveys say that the arrested protesters are loons. You said most surveys say the protesters are loons.
The important
if you had said arrested, we wouldn't have put it in there.
Okay. The important thing is you don't want to take things out of context just to make a cheap political point against people you don't like.
We're not looking to make cheap political points against people we don't like.
Okay.
We're not looking to take things out of context. And quite frankly, we work pretty hard not to.
Okay.
And if you have other examples, I'd be happy to address those as well. I disagree with you that that's out of context.
Okay. Now, are you shocked that a Democratic poll operation shows that Fox News is the most trusted news operation in the country? 49% of Americans trust Fox News.
I'm not shocked by that. Are you shocked that an internet poll said I was the most trusted newscaster in America?
Yeah, but that was like Blinky did it. This was a big concern. Okay, and somebody told me off the record that you were one of the 49% that believe Fox News is the most trusted news organization.
Here's what I believe: Fox News is the most passionate and sells the clearest narrative of any news organization, if that's how are you still referring to it in that manner?
Yeah, it's a news organization. Right. That's how the poll referred to it.
No, I'm sure
nobody had any problem. Only you.
Well,
only you have a
I
problem.
think Fox, in and of yourself, say you're not a news organization all day. Isn't it now your news? What was it? Your news from 9 to 11, and then your opinion, and then your news again from like 1 to 2:30.
It's kind of like a newspaper.
Except on the Jewish holidays, then you're not. And then on alternate parking days, your news. But then Christmas, you're not. And then what is it?
Stuart.
During Ramadan, your news?
Stuart.
Am I allowed to say Ramadan on Fox?
You are. You can say Ramadan.
Are you sure?
Stuart, just for a second. Okay, just for a second. Take a deep breath.
Carl Rove just did this.
Think about a newspaper. Think about the last newspaper you read, New York Times. And think about the news pages. And then you open another page, and there is the opinion page. Clearly labeled opinion page.
Yeah.
You have no problem with that, right?
First of all, newspapers are a passive piece of paper that you go to and you know where the opinion thing is. Television doesn't function that way, and you know it.
You don't think people know The Factor is an opinion show? You don't think they know that?
That's certainly not clearly labeled. I've looked at your promos. You're part of the fair and balanced part. You're part of the most trusted name in news.
But you don't think people know
Let me
the
put it this way.
O'Reilly factor isn't an opinion? That's like saying somebody watches your show, they don't know it's a comedy show. Come on, Stewart, wise up, man. Everybody knows this. People watching in Pakistan, they get a little direct TV, and they go, that O'Reilly's opinion show. They know. They know you're a comic.
Why do they
know
use
I'm an
that
opinion
accent?
guy.
Let me ask you a question. You truly believe that Fox News is just a nonpartisan, fair and balanced, trustworthy?
Our hard news operation is. But of course, you're casting aspersions.
Yes, I am.
Big word.
I believe I am.
All right, casting aspersions.
That's right.
People like Shepard Smith, people, all of our White House people.
Listen, here's the brilliance. They report
fairly.
Here's the brilliance of Fox News. What you have been able to do, you and Dr. Ailes, have been able to mainstream conservative talk radio. And the way that you did it, you can't shoot conservative talk radio directly into the veins of the American people. Their heads would blow up. You can only have that in taxis and various places in people's houses. So what you've done is you've taken a cyclonic, narrative-driven news organization, a media arm of a political party, of a political wing, and you've sprinkled it. You've cut it with a little bit of object, a little bit of Chris Wallace asking a tough question, a little bit.
From 9 to 4, when Cavuto comes on,
not even close.
That's 7 hours.
Not even close, because they're also part of the journey. They're part
of the journey. Who's part of the journey?
The journey begins in the morning. It begins with the
Fox and Friends,
with the wide-eyed innocence of Fox and Friends. Obama has czars. I Googled czar. Did you know that's a Russian word for a Russian leader? Or they'll go through, these children in 2nd grade are singing the praises of Obama. Did you know they sing the praises of their leader in North Korea? And then when the hard news comes on, they go, some people are concerned that they're indoctrinating children.
So you think that the Fox News channel is set up solely to provide aid and comfort to the Republican Party and the conservative movement?
That's right.
Nothing else.
And to make some money.
Then why wouldn't John McCain come on his program during the last campaign? Why did he dodge us and not come on? If your thesis is that we're in business to help the GOP, he wouldn't come in.
But you're not in business to help John McCain. He is not GOP enough for you. You're in business to help Sarah Palin.
Dick Cheney.
And now
Dick Cheney is to you Mr. Republican. Wouldn't come on the program,
Not
Stewart.
Mr. Republican. Well, because Dick Cheney, again, this atmosphere, there's a lot of light, which he's obviously allergic to.
Come on.
There's an opportunity to brush past the plant.
I just gave you 2 examples that you can't refute with your propaganda.
But that doesn't mean anything.
What do you mean? It's two concrete examples. John McCain running for president on the GOP side, Dick Cheney, Mr. GOP. Neither man would come in here because the questioning is too tough. So don't give me I'm a Republican shill. That's bull.
You, like I say, you are the most reasonable, have become the most reasonable voice on Fox, which, quite frankly...
Greta is the most reasonable. Come on.
Well, but she's different. She's not as political. You are the most reasonable...
Is she not on the program, on the channel?
Kinda.
Yeah? It's 10 o'clock to 11.
I mean, she's kinda on it.
Yeah,
she's not really... she's not the deal.
Right.
She's not what I think about... No, let's go through this, because I think this is important.
Go ahead.
You have become, in some ways, the voice of sanity here, which, as I said, is like being the thinnest kid.
Cavuto sane?
Which is like being the thinnest kid at fat camp. So let's just get that straight.
Cavuto
You're a
sane?
saint. You're a saint. No, Cavuto is not sane.
Cavuto is insane? Neil Cavuto?
He goes through... You know what's great about Cavuto is we did a piece on this, the Cavuto mark. His thing is all about questions. Are Democrats tanking the stock market? Question mark. It's all done with this kind of very subtle propaganda.
So
it's all done in questions. I'm not saying Obama's a Stalinist. I'm just putting up Stalin's picture behind me and saying all of his programs. Listen, I grew up in Jersey.
Because Cavuto
I know what this is.
Lays out the conservatives, too.
Please. I know what this is. This is, I come from Jersey. It's the same thing. I'm not saying your mother's a whore. I'm just saying she has sex for money with people. So all the techniques that here's how I know you are. Because Fox News has done a 180 on so many integral principles of what you would imagine a news organization to be. Fox News used to be all about, you don't criticize a president during wartime. It's unacceptable. It's treasonous. It aid and comfort to the enemy. All of a sudden, for some reason, you can run out there and say Barack Obama is destroying the fabric of this country.
But not in the Afghanistan situation.
They've absolutely said he doesn't know what he's doing.
Not here.
When you're talking about
everybody here has been respectful in that theater and not undermined anything in that theater.
That's absolutely not true.
No,
you went through the whole dithering thing.
It took too long for him to make up the mind to deploy.
But that's not the point. The point is, any criticism of a president in wartime
about anything.
That's what the network was about.
I criticize Bush all day long.
Please.
All day long.
Here's what Fox has done. Through their cyclonic, perpetual...
We're back to the cyclonic.
Their cyclonic perpetual emotion machine. That is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week. They've taken reasonable concerns about this president and this economy and turned it into a full-fledged panic attack about the next coming of Chairman Mao.
See, some people do that, but most people don't. Brett Baer's got a panel. Brett Baer, is he another closet fascist? Brett Baer?
What is sticking? What is sticking? What is the overall narrative? You're missing the forest for the trees by trying to cherry pick individuals with some semblance of integrity.
If you look at the polls, Obama's personal popularity is still in the high 50s. Job performance is slipping. And the job performance is slipping because of what you said.
How Barack Obama is destroying the fabric of America.
I don't believe he is.
And tyranny. Then explain to me why that is the narrative of your network.
It's the narrative of a couple of guys, a Republican, Sean Hannity, and a guy, Glenn Beck, who's basically every man.
And
he's
Fox
basically
what do you mean he's every man? What do you mean he's every man?
He's every man. He sits on a bar stool.
Every man's got a show? What are you talking about?
He's talented.
He's a very talented man.
Right.
But where's every man?
It means that he doesn't shill for any party. He just spouts. He spouts what he believes. Oh, if you think that Beck shills for the Republican Party, you're out of your mind.
He is not only, he's not shilling for the Republican Party, he's shilling for the new movement. He is a sponsor.
He wants to get back to the constitutionality of what he believes the country should be. Come on, I watch the show. But
listen, but let's go into this, because all I hear on your network is this guy's, it's tyranny and socialism.
That's what he believes.
So how is Barack Obama a socialist? As far as I can see, the majority of the billions of dollars he's given to banks. Look, so if he's a socialist, he's dyslexic. Because when you redistribute the wealth, it's supposed to be going to...
But he does believe in a redistribution of income.
Well, he's redistributed to
and that is a
banks.
Socialist tenet. No, he's redistributing it.
He's going up. He's dyslexic. It's supposed to come down.
Look, if you don't know that the Obama administration is redistributing income, then I'm going to have to haul your program away from you.
Let me ask you a question. What is different about his redistribution of income that all other presidents? He wants to raise the marginal tax rate back to where it was during the Clinton era.
Was Clinton a socialist? A variety of programs, okay?
That we already have. We already have Medicare, right? We have Medicaid. We have Social Security. Are we a socialist country? Do you want to get rid of those three?
No. But I want to moderate them so we don't go bankrupt.
Okay, but that's different. Now you're talking about fiscal responsibility.
Different. In a socialist country, the government pays for all of these entitlements. The Obama administration is
Who pays
down
for
with
Medicare?
That. The government pays.
Who pays for Medicaid?
The government
Who
pays
for Social Security?
But now we're on Medicare
socialists.
and Medicaid with steroids.
Once again,
with the new health care bill.
This is like the old joke.
Steroids.
Once again, this is like the old joke. Would you sleep with me for $10? No. Would you sleep with me for $1 million? Okay. So now we know what you are. We're just negotiating price. For you guys to stand up.
Of course, that's the degree of anybody when you describe socialism. There are little socialistic programs and giant socialist programs, okay? And some people believe that Obama is on the huge government creation, the government dominance, and you yourself said it. You yourself said it. He wants more regulation. He wants to create things.
But he's given back so much executive power.
Back what?
Executive power.
He hasn't given back anything.
Wartime.
He just hasn't handled the Congress. He doesn't know how to handle them yet. That's inexperience. Now,
so he's not a tyrant, because if he's a tyrant, then he's pretty lame for a tyrant.
I don't object.
How many tyrants do you know that really suffer because they can't get cloture? Very few.
All of them at NBC.
All right.
Right. Now, I don't mind you not liking Fox News and thinking it's a Republican or conservative deal. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it.
Thank you.
Okay. There's a lot of people that think that you are, and fill in the blank, ladies and gentlemen, at your pleasure. However,
I'm going to go with Pinhead.
You.
Pinhead? Is Pinhead right?
The other night on your program.
Or is it Patriot?
The other night on your program, criticized Fox News for bailing out of the president's back and forth with the GOP. After we used an hour of it, all right, and bailed out for about 12 minutes because we had other stuff to do. And you were offended, personally offended. So
I wasn't offended. I thought it was funny.
No, you criticized us.
But I thought it was funny.
You mocked us for doing it.
I mocked you.
Yeah, that was the right decision. But, Stuart.
Oh, my God.
On election night...
You got, like, Ali's reach. You see the arms on this guy?
You had no idea,
It's like dealing with Dikembe Mutombo, trying to argue with... You're giving me one of these.
But,
no.
On Massachusetts vote night, when we covered Coakley's speech in the entirety...
Yes.
When we covered the winner's speech in the entirety, Brown, okay, and the other CNN and MSE didn't cover Brown.
I should have.
You didn't say a word, did you?
You're absolutely right.
I rest my case.
Your case is rested.
All right. Gentlemen of the jury, deliberate and come back and find Stewart guilty of gross hypocrisy. Now, let's play a little bit of a scenario. Right. I'm thinking about this in 2012. I'm thinking about running for president.
I think that's a really bad idea.
I want you to be my vice president.
I think that's a really bad idea, too.
Now,
listen, I got pictures of me from college that I have in a shoebox that preclude me from working at the post office. So I would not. You have no idea the trouble you'd be getting into.
This is why I've selected you as my vice president.
All right.
Okay? Your image is so bad, no matter what they found, it wouldn't matter. Okay, now, I have to vet you. I'm vetting you on the global warming.
What about it?
All right? You're big on that. You're frightened of it. You want to flee, don't you?
Flee what? The Earth?
The planet, yeah.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay right now, yeah.
How bad is global warming?
I live on like the 12th floor. I should be okay.
Yeah, but you saw that.
I'm a little worried about my neighbors.
You saw that Emmerich movie. You saw that Emmerich movie.
I'm hoping some of their plasma screens float up. Okay. So I'm okay.
It's a big problem, though. Is it global warming? I got to have your POV on this.
I guess, look, I'm not a scientist. I can only assume common sense. If you burn a lot of stuff and put it in the atmosphere, it means something. What it means, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with the idea that you can treat the Earth like you would, your dial in your house and adjust the climate.
So what do you want to do about global warming? What do you want to do?
What do I want to do about it?
No more barbecues? What do you want? What do you want?
I really enjoy barbecue. What I would like to do about global warming is I think rebuild our energy infrastructure. That super grid sounds like a pretty good idea.
Green energy?
If it makes sense. I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't. It seems like it makes sense.
You want to?
No, I think cap and trade is somewhat of a silly idea. In the same way that I think carbon credits, I guess they are. What is it called? The carbon. You want to have a party and you want to.
Yeah, Al Gore, the carbon trade thing.
You get credits.
Right.
You can go online and it's like it reminded me of the old indulgences of the Catholic Church. You're
Al Gore
hey, I don't mind copping a feel on that 12-year-old. Here's $100.
Al Gore can fly in a private jet, but then he reads books by candlelight. It's a carbon offset.
That stuff that's bothersome to me. The idea that people whose carbon footprint. I think it's got to be a much larger discussion about a new.
But you believe in global warming, man-made?
Do I believe that man has something to do with it? I have no reason not to.
Okay.
I am a person who believes in science.
Gore came on.
He was on the program.
Right. Did you ask him that he'd made $100 million off the global warming?
I didn't ask him that.
No?
No. Should I have asked him that?
I think so.
All right, I'll ask him that.
Because that's a good question.
That is a really good question.
$100 million he's made.
That's why you're Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's go to Iran. If you're my VP, I'm going to have to put you in charge of very delicate negotiations. Now, Iran's building, nuclear weapons over there. Mm-hmm. And if they get them, they might give them to some guy named Ahmed, who might then take them to Cleveland and blow everything up. Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do with that?
Well, doesn't Pakistan have nuclear weapons?
Yes,
and
they do.
Couldn't they give it to somebody?
I don't know.
Doesn't Russia have nuclear weapons?
Russia
Couldn't they give it to somebody?
They could.
So
we should have another one?
Well, no, I'm just saying, it's a problem. The problem isn't the country that gets them. The problem seems to be the weapon, rather than the country.
But if Iran gets them with their bellicosity,
well, let me ask you a question.
Isn't that a good word?
Since you're the top of the ticket, and I want to make sure that I'm comfortable because you and I are going to have to hold hands a lot. And by the way, that shot of us on stage with our arms around each other, I'm going to look like your idiot nephew. You're like 6'8". Right. And I'm 5'7". I don't think that's a winning ticket.
Well, we'll get you. The Tom Jones.
The
Tom Jones elevated heels.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Okay, you will.
Here's what I think. I think the strategy of what we've done, and again, thank you guys for ratcheting up the fear on this.
You're not afraid that Iran gets a nuclear weapon and they cause all kinds of.
There's a lot of things to be afraid of in the world. I asked the guy.
You're a Jewish guy, right?
What?
You're a Jewish guy.
Who told him?
All right.
Son of a bitch! Did you tell him?
So I believe I believe that the president of Iran.
What gave it away? Was it my happy Hanukkah when I walked in?
I think
there is a war on Hanukkah in this country, mister.
I believe the Ahmadinejad, he wants to drive you and all the other Jewish people into the sea.
So I cannot control that. I cannot control what those things are.
What we can control is we can stop them from having the nuclear weapon.
Here's the thing. You might be able to stop them from having a nuclear weapon,
right.
But as technology grows and becomes more accessible to people, this is going to become an increasingly difficult problem. And here's what we can't do. Here's what we can't do.
What can't we do?
Our strategy for battling terrorism can't be that you overthrow governments and then make the United States military commit 150,000 troops to those lands until they can somehow stabilize the governments long enough so that you can prevent 10 people from plotting destruction in a basement.
It's bankrupting the country.
It's bankrupting the country.
But you don't seem too concerned about Iran. You just don't seem to be that concerned about it.
Because Iran, like most of these other countries, has a self-preservationist streak. And I am a firm believer that that self-preservationist streak keeps them, they're not mad. They understand. Look, there is no theory of mutual destruction with Iran. Let's say they get one off. It would be tragic.
Well, how will we trace it? We never trace it.
Please.
Look, they can't even get
absolutely
They can't even question the underwear bomber.
If somebody,
all right, they can't get a guy with underwear, and they can't get the answers.
Let's look at the geniuses we're up against. Richard Reed was the airplane bomber. He tried to take that explosive and put it in his shoes.
Right.
It took them 8 years, and the plan they came up with in 8 years is, why don't we try sticking it under that guy's genitals? That's what they did in 8 years. They moved from the guy's shoes up to his underwear.
Right, and he got to Detroit, all right? So that's the frightening part about it. Now, trying Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in your living room, because you live downtown.
That's right.
And he's going to be in your living room.
That's right.
Are you down with that? You want that civilian
I'd like him tried, honestly, in the pit. I'd like him right in there. And I'd like him to be executed at halftime of the Super Bowl.
But really,
and then reanimated so we could do it every year.
600 million, 700 million going to cost the city. We don't have any money here anyway.
I'm glad to see that you're suddenly very concerned about cost.
I am. I'm a fiscal conservative.
No, and I think maybe when the Iraq War was coming up, you might have mentioned that. It would have been a big help.
I said many times on this program that was not a good thing to do. All right?
You said you would apologize if they didn't find weapons of mass destruction.
And I did. I said I was wrong many times. That whole Iraq thing did not go well. All right? And I said it on this program. If you had watched the program, you'd know that. And your frame of reference would be much larger than it is right now.
Here's the other thing, too, and I want to talk about this because I think this is an interesting point. You know, this whole Tea Party movement is about anger at the government. And it has been embraced, and some would say sponsored, by Fox News. And when you talk to the Tea Party people, they're very thankful for Fox News and Glenn Beck in particular for helping them out. And I think that's very noble of them to do that.
Do you like the Tea Party people?
I think I don't want to speak about them generally.
Do you know any Tea Party people?
Yes, I do.
Really?
And some
of
them
in Greenwich Village, there are Tea Party people? We're talking the protesters, not the real Tea Party people.
Let me tell you something, Bill. I'll give you 4 blocks of Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
And I'll put that up against 4 blocks around your house.
Levittown?
And no, your house now.
Oh, Levittown is where I was brought up.
Well, you don't live there anymore, brother.
No, but I live close.
But let me give you 4 blocks of where you are now, where you've been ensconced for the past however many years. I guarantee you I got a wider variety of people in the 4 blocks in Greenwich Village.
Are we doing zip guns, or what are we doing?
You know what I'm talking about. Enough with the whole, listen, when you and Bernie Goldberg get on here and the whole, like, these Harvard-educated media elites, and I'm like, you're a Harvard-educated media elite, O'Reilly.
I'm proud of it, man.
No, you're not.
Okay, but they won't even let me on their campus. Well, so that says something. But
here's my point.
Sheikh Mohammed.
Let's go back to my point. The Tea Party movement has been notarized, signed, sealed, and delivered by Fox News.
I don't believe that for an instant. We just cover it. Well, what do you think? We have mailings in here, and we have
organizations? You promoted it as a day of celebration.
We promoted it as a phenomenon taking place in the country.
You promoted it as a day of celebration. Meanwhile, 75,000 people marched on Washington for gay rights. Not even a picture.
We cover it?
No, you didn't cover it. In fact, you got a camera in Washington, D.C. You could have just pointed it out the window. You didn't do it.
When was this? When was this we didn't cover the gay march?
It was like a month. It was
like
a month after the Tea Party thing.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but I don't think it is.
So you're ratcheting up the anger. You're giving it a place to reside. I think that's wonderful. What I don't understand is when all that anger about the Iraq War occurred, what you did is you made it akin to treason.
That's not true.
And you made it akin to aiding and abetting the enemy.
When it became clear that the Bush administration lost control of that process.
But this was before it was clear.
But nobody could know before what it was. The New York Times editorialized that they should go in. Bill Clinton was saying they should go in. That's ridiculous.
All I'm saying is the consistency of your ability to look at these protest movements and treat them the same as a news organization would.
It's a different kind of protest.
And here's the other thing about the Tea Party movement. Where was the anger when we were spent into a $1.3 trillion deficit during the Bush administration?
Listen,
this has appeared out of nowhere.
It should have been there. It should have been there. And I'm partially to blame for that.
And why did Fox News not treat Ron Paul better when he's been talking about this stuff for the past 8 years?
Look,
10 years.
We can't promote Mounds and Almond Joy. Are you talking about Peter Paul?
All right.
Peter, Paul, and Mary? It was Ron? Okay, Ron.
Let's go back to KSM.
No, let's go back to...
KSM.
Yeah, where he should be tried in front of a military tribunal. Congress passed a law.
Okay.
All right? You're okay with that? Because you can't be my VP guy unless you're okay with that. That's a core thing.
Well, no, I don't
We're going to get tough on these guys.
I disagree with the premise that it's not getting tough on them to try them in a civilian court.
$600 million. You're willing to spend that? It's
$39.95
a day.
It's not about the money. It's about the integrity of the system. Now, I'm not against military tribunals.
But you're waffling now. You're in the middle. I need a strong VP. I know you're waffling.
I'm not running with you.
Oh, you're not? You've turned it down already?
I am not running with you.
Come on.
I'm not going to be your VP because I know what that's going to be. I get one job, and that's to light the White House menorah. Not interested.
Okay, but look, I'll give you
I don't want to be the guy up on that thing as you're going around.
You'll get to go to every funeral you can go to.
There are valid concerns
Yes.
about trying Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in a civilian court.
Right.
But one of the valid concerns isn't that it makes us a terrorist target and that it emboldens the enemy.
How do you know?
Because we're already a terrorist target.
Okay, that's like saying you got to close Guantanamo because it's a terrorist recruiting tool. They're already recruiting terrorists.
I think you're absolutely right.
Argument.
I don't think that's why we should close Guantanamo.
Why should we close it?
Because it's limbo.
Limbo?
It doesn't fit with the American system of justice.
It's better to be there than in some penitentiary here.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I've been there. It is. Trust me.
No. I'm saying it's better to have them go through a system where you can go through and methodically show the world that the American judicial system has the integrity to withstand even the most vile
Does that
creatures.
include the Crips and the Bloods out in the yard confronting these guys? That's the American justice system inside prison. You know it, Stewart.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Listen, there's one thing America does better than anybody else in the world, and that's jail people. Give us a chance. We've got people that eat brains in our jails. Do you watch? I know you don't watch MSNBC, but watch it on the weekends. They have these prison shows.
I know.
I would love to see these guys in with them.
Why are they doing that, by the way?
They're out of money? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't think they ran out of people. I don't know. They have enough people to put
I'm just saying there are some reasons, but one of the reasons isn't this hyperventilating, I'm afraid of them. I'm not afraid of these idiots. They're not X-Men. It's not Magneto. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed isn't going to sprout wings and fly out and start burning buildings with lasers.
It doesn't matter. It's a total waste of money and time. Military should take
well,
them. That should be it.
I believe that's up for debate. And that's an interesting debate. If they want to do it through military tribunals, that's
you don't have
fine.
a problem with it.
But I understand the value of showing that the American justice system has the ability to handle even the worst.
All right. I'm glad you said that because when you're tried for sedition, I'm rooting for the military tribunal.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very nice.
Final. Sarah Palin. You've been a little tough on Sarah Palin, haven't you? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
No, you haven't been mocking her.
Oh, no, I mock her.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't think I've been too tough.
No?
No.
What other woman in politics have you mocked to the extent that you've mocked Sarah Palin?
Probably Hillary Clinton.
Have you mocked Hillary that much?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? More than Sarah? The same?
Well, Hillary's been around longer, but give Sarah time. I'll get there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll catch up.
You like her?
I don't know her.
No?
I'm not crazy about the whole real America vibe I get from her. That gets under my skin.
You don't think she's a real American?
No, I don't like the whole, like, there's a real America and then there's the coastal America.
You don't think there's a difference between San Francisco and Wasilla, Alaska?
In terms of
mentality and how you look at life?
I think there are individuals with let me put it this way. I don't say that where you live is the factor in deciding who you are. I think people should be judged individually.
There's a tone, as we went back to Greenwich Village, there's a tone in some places.
And that's what I'm saying to you is that's a false narrative.
You don't think there's a tone?
And if you go through, I don't understand what that means.
Look, here's what it means. If you and me tonight go down to the Village in Manhattan, they will love you. They'll throw rose petals.
Some people,
no,
some people won't.
If I go, they will not like me so much. In
but
Balthazar, but if we go to Charleston, South Carolina, all right, I will have to protect you, and I will, but I'll have to protect you because they will come after you.
This is idiotic.
No,
there's no real America. There's no coastal elites. There's no thing. There may be a difference in flavor, but there are individuals within that. and the individual, the idea somehow that there's a real America where the good people live, the ones that love God and love the country, and they don't do, that's ridiculous.
That's not true.
Or that
but
there's
there is
one religion
different
that has
outlook in various
that is
regions.
Such broad strokes.
But it's true. There's a difference in the streets of San Francisco than in Atlanta, Georgia.
But there's
a difference.
Again, I'll give you those 4 blocks in the West Village, and I could probably find you more evangelicals there than you have in your neighborhood.
All right. All right. Anything else you want to say? You want to, because you've been pretty intellectual. I'm very, very pleased with this conversation.
The Brit Hume thing with the proselytizing, you were mad about that, too.
Yeah, he has a right to give his advice to Tiger Woods. I thought it was decent advice, You didn't like it.
No.
Why?
I thought it would have been better if he had said Tiger should get in touch with faith, or his faith, and not my faith.
Well, Brit Hume is a Christian, believes strongly, as you are a liberal, and you believe in liberal tenets.
Whoa! Whoa!
So
Did you just equate that I'm a liberal with somebody being a Christian?
You espouse your liberalism. He espouses his philosophy as well.
That is the most insane comparison I think you've ever made in my life. Here's the difference between my philosophy and Brit's philosophy.
Good.
Brit's not going to hell in mine, and I'm going to hell in his.
Are you really?
I think.
I don't think so. I think. Brit,
is there like a little room that Jews get to wait in?
Is there? No. Listen, you are the chosen people. Don't you understand that Judeo-Christian philosophy?
Oh, is that true?
You're the chosen people.
I thought we were the chosen ones to help with the taxes.
There might be an exception just for you. Okay.
No, I appreciate that.
Right, but
here's your problem
generally
right now.
speaking,
here's your
chosen.
problem, and I'm going to tell you this right now.
My problem?
You like me. You don't know what to do with yourself right now because you like me.
I tell people that.
Can I tell you my favorite
part
of your show?
You know who I don't like?
Who?
Colbert.
Stop it. He's a wonderful man.
No, he's not.
He's a lovely man, teaches Sunday school. Let me ask you this. Can I tell you this? What I love about The Factor? When you bring on Dick Morris.
Yeah.
That is I like to shut my eyes when Dick Morris is talking.
Right.
And pretend it's Harvey Firestein that's mad at Obama.
Now, nobody knows. See, you're such an elitist. Nobody knows who Harvey Firestein is.
All right.
They don't know. This is why you're an elitist.
Give him credit, baby.
If you had said Larry the Cable Guy, they'd know.
See that?
Oh, I'm telling you, Stuart, you're so out of touch with the folks.
Oh
you got look. I'm going to let you hang around.
Out of touch with the folks.
Right, you're out of touch with the folks.
You live in a castle.
I don't live in a castle. I live in a regular house.
You have a pool with a never-ending view, the infinity pool.
Tony Dow, all right, does my lawn. I live in a regular house, okay? Beaver, Cleveland.
All right.
Jon Stewart, everybody, there he is.
Thanks for having me.
Good, that's fun.
All right.